Okay. Hi digital peeps. YouTube. Down here. Hi digital peeps at YouTube. There's cars on my porch. I know I haven't made a video in a good long while. COVID life happens, but I'll talk more about that in another video. Been updating everybody on Twitter of my wonderful Uncle Joey. That's what his name was. Joseph. I went by Joe or Joey most of the time. Hoffman. I'm going, so there's cars whizzing by, so excuse the noise. Birds are chirping. Tell you about a wonderful, wonderful uncle and a brother and father who I loved dearly. My mother, Joyce, she's the oldest out of 6 children. There were 3 boys and 3 girls born. So my mom's the first, the oldest of the girls and the oldest sibling. Then comes my Uncle Johnny, who is also my godfather. Then after that, it's my Aunt Janet, who's my mom's middle sister, second born sister. My Uncle Johnny, he was just John. That's what his name, but we called him Johnny or John. My Uncle Johnny's like the oldest of the 3 boys. And he's the second. And then me, Janet. And then there's my middle brother, my mom's middle brother, my Uncle Joey. He's the man we're going to be talking about in this video. Sorry if you're hearing cars go by. I'm filming outside today, so please excuse the noise. Then comes my mom's baby sister, and my lovely aunt, and my godmother, my Aunt Jean, and my mom's baby brother, my Uncle Jason. So that's the order of the siblings. So I have lots of cousins and lots of aunties and uncles, and everybody's married, except for my Aunt Jean. She had a long-time boyfriend, but they broke up a couple years ago. That's the only thing. Now my Uncle Joey, he had a wife, his first wife, my Aunt Teresa. They had 2 children together, my cousins Brandon, who's the oldest, and my cousin Brittany. My cousin Brittany is a firefighter paramedic down in Wheeling, West Virginia. She's about an hour and a half away. And they have all the fireman competitions, where you carry bodies and do hoses and stuff. She's number 1 in the United States and number 2 in the world. So this girl knows her shit. Okay. And firefighting, and she's badass. We're girlfriends, and every time we see each other, it's like, girlfriend. It's like we never left. And then after a few years of being married, my Uncle Joey and my Aunt Teresa, they got a divorce. She drank a lot, and she was seeing other people behind his back and all that, so he said, no, I don't deal, so, left. And then he had a couple of girlfriends for a while, and then he met my Aunt Jenny. I think he went to Virginia, but she was by Jenny. And he married her. She had 2 kids from a previous marriage. My cousins Paul and Chris were their names. I think his name's like Christopher, but he wanted to be called Chris, that kind of stuff. They choose to live with their father, and they're about as old as Brandon and Brittany are, I believe. But they decided that they wanted to be with their father, which is fine. That's their decision. That's what they want. So now we'll come to why we're making this video. I was my Uncle Joey's oldest niece. I was the only niece until about 1991 when all my cousins started arriving, per se. Because my cousin Brandon and my cousin John, my Uncle Johnny's firstborn son, has his name. they're born same year, a month apart. So, I think my cousin Brandon's is in October, and my cousin John's is in November, so. You know, when you get to hold your baby cousins for the first time, it's just like, oh, they're so little and so delicate and so cute and wonderful all at the same time. So we're going to take you back to November. This was November of last year. This was around Thanksgiving, a couple days after Thanksgiving. Now, my Uncle Johnny, excuse me, my Uncle Joey, not my Uncle Johnny, but my Uncle Joey, he called on Thanksgiving. He wanted to be us with his favorite oldest sister, my mother, Joyce, and talk to my dad, Rick. That's Ricky. His full name's Richard, but he goes by Rick or Ricky. And they were just BSing. He wanted to know how I was. He sounded great over the phone. Didn't think anything was wrong with him, anything like that. It was a few days later after Thanksgiving. He was over at his house with his wife, me and Ginny. And he kind of collapsed at home. It was a very sudden kind of a thing. You know, when someone collapses like that sudden, it's like, ooh, you know. So they took him to the hospital. They found out he had a stroke. It's a very bad one. They tried to get as much of the clot out as they could. There was still some left. At the time, they tried medications to get rid of it. He started having brain bleeds on top of that. They tried everything they could to get him to a place where he could be whole again, per se. And we thought he was, you know, people who come back from strokes, you know, are like infants at times, and then when they have rehab, they become a better person. Depending on how bad the stroke was and all that kind of stuff. My Nana's one sister, my Aunt Sue, my Nana was my mother's mom, and mom to all of my mom's siblings. Her oldest sister had a stroke that left her paralyzed on one side, like my uncle's. My uncle, he got paralyzed on one side also as well. Could hardly speak. It was just, he was here on the outside but not on the inside. He was just out of space and things like that. So I understand what strokes are. Now my uncle, he was on a CPAP machine. He was on BP meds, high blood pressure stuff, things for his cholesterol, all kinds of meds. And he decided to stop taking them. His father, him and my mom's siblings and hers father, my pappy, Hossman, who I loved very dearly, he was stubborn like him and didn't want to take his meds and that kind of stuff. So he actually put himself in this position. But now he's off with his mom and dad. He's off with my Nana and Pappy and the wonderful skies above of heaven. Once they got him stabilized at the hospital and things were looking up, they took him to Encompass Health, which is a national rehab hospital in the United States. There's 100 and some locations in the United States. There's 2 located where I live at, Hummerville and Sewickley. They brought him to the Hummerville location because a bed just opened up there, and with COVID we couldn't see him. We could talk to him on the phone, we could FaceTime with him, but that's about all we could do. But he wasn't, they would try to get him to rehab and things like that. It's like a rehab boot camp hospital per se. And if you don't do well, then they ship you out. And that's what happened with him. He wasn't progressing. And his room wasn't being taken care of the way it should have been. We don't know how or why. But, you know, sometimes, you know, with everything going on with COVID, I got it understood, you know, with the nurses and whatnot. After that, after they took him out of Harmerville Rehab, the Encompass place, they took him to a skilled nursing home facility in a place called Oakmont, PA. You might know about it from me because we play at the Oaks Theater out there in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. I live in Pittsburgh, or Pittsburgh area. I live 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. That's why you don't need to know, but I live in southwestern Pennsylvania in the Pittsburgh area. A wonderful, famous bakery out in Oakmont called the Oakmont Bakery. Wonderful pastries and things. Delicious. The punch keys. To die for. So he was out there for a while, and then they put him back to another hospital because they thought he might have a urinary tract infection. I'm like, you couldn't do a pee test there, but fine, whatever. So then, and then they said, well, we don't know if we could keep him here and all that. So then they put him back at the first hospital he was in when he got diagnosed in Jefferson Hospital, which is near where I live at, which is near where my dad used to work at. Jefferson Memorial Hospital. He was there. My mom and dad got to see him there. You had to wear your mask. You had to be, you know, all the protocols and whatever. He was there for a little bit, and then, because when he first had the stroke, I took him to Jefferson Memorial, and they said, we can't, he has to go to stroke specialty hospital. So he went to, so they life-flighted him. They took him on a helicopter to a hospital in Pittsburgh. It's called Allegheny General Hospital, shortened AGH. And there, when you have a stroke, that's one of the hospitals you want to go to. You know, they have a very good stroke center out there and all that. So he went from there. So he went there, and that's when he went to a Compass, and then he went to the skilled nursing home facility. Then he went back to Jefferson. Well, my mom and dad got to see him, and then he was back in the skilled nursing home, I think. And then he went back to AGH. Because when he was at the skilled nursing facility, they tested his blood, and his liver enzymes were off the charts. They thought he was in liver failure. So they took him to AGH. They did some more extensive testing, and they found he had sepsis of the blood, and that was eating away at his mitral valve in his heart, and pieces were breaking off and causing clots and mini strokes and things like that. So they had to wait. So yesterday, it was the 10th yesterday. My mom's at work. She and I had to go and help her at work because you know, somebody new was coming into where my mom works at, and she needed a little extra pair of hands. Her knees hurt her a lot and stuff, so she wanted me to come and help her put capes on some of the ladies she does and things like that. So clean up the hair, so I get paid for it. So it's just a little side thing. She gets a phone call from her one sister-in-law, my Aunt Debbie, who was married to my Uncle Jason, my mom's baby brother, as I said before. And she said they're putting my Uncle Joey on a ventilator because his oxygen was very low. Now, it's very serious at this point. As we know, ventilators in this case are like the most crucial thing hospitals need at this point. And they said that they were waiting for his son and daughter to arrive so that we could say goodbye. So my cousin Brittany has been coming back and forth from here. She was already here saying her goodbyes, and then we were waiting for her brother. He was an hour and a half away somewhere. And then when he came, they said goodbye. They unplugged him. I know that's harsh to say, but yeah, they make him DNR, do not necessitate. Comfort care would be the nice way of saying the hospice stuff. And then once his son Brandon got to say goodbye, Brandon and Brittany got to say goodbye at 2 o'clock, 2:10 this morning a.m. my beloved Joey Hoffman passed away. And we seem to think he's been suffering for a little bit, but at least he's not in pain anymore. He's on the other side with his mom and dad and everybody else in heaven. Probably my kitties, because my kitties are buried on my property. My cat's Ellie and Midnight. I told him give him a kiss for me while he's up there. My mom she didn't go to the hospital to say goodbye to him because she saw him at Jefferson and didn't want to see him that way. He would kind of stare up at space and it's like, hello, Uncle Joey, are you there? You know, kind of thing. But all my mom's brothers and sisters got to say goodbye. My Aunt Jean brought her phone and my mom said goodbye to him over the phone. It was very heart-wrenching to hear that, but it was, you know, which I get and I understand. But other than that, so that's where we are. I don't know, we don't know what the funeral plans are, but I'll update you on Twitter. I updated people periodically on Twitter. It's at mkgtweety. My socials are linked in the description box below. For Pinterest, Tumblr, Wattpad, and a Twitter at mkgtweety. I'm very nice and friendly online, so come say hi. I actually have a real girl name, but I choose to use my screen name for privacy reasons. I like to go by my screen name. But if you left me well wishes, if you're thinking about me, if you're doing prayers, all this kind of other stuff, I thank you very much for knowing. That means a lot to me. And I will give you a life update soon enough, but we're going to end the video here. I love you. Thank you. I send you virtual hugs. I know we're in a time of difficulty. I'm a little hesitant about the vaccine, so is my mom and dad, so that's why we haven't gotten it yet. We won't get into that. But I will smell you later, digital peeps. Love and Lippy, I thank you for taking the time to listen and to hear my story. And thank you if you left me well wishes and prayers. It means a lot. And I'll see you on the interwebs. Bye, digital peeps. I love you. Love and Lippy, digital peeps. Bye. Mwah.